Can you show me, Becca?
We met where you live.
Ladies and gentlemen, could I ask you please to stand for the arrival of the bride? No going back now. Keep smiling. Take a breath. They've all come out alive the other side. Now's a good time to see you. Before we start, you two have been introduced, haven't you? Well, once more, good afternoon, everybody, and I take this opportunity to extend a very warm welcome to you all to Kilver Court. One or two introductions before we start. My name's Jeff Salter. I'm the Deputy Superintendent Registrar here today. It's my very great pleasure and an honour to be here today to conduct this ceremony for you. And my colleague to the left, Steve, he's here doing all the hard work today. He's ensuring the legality of the marriage, and you'll see him recording the details in the register during the course of the ceremony, where they're going to remain for all time. And before I continue, I must tell you that this place in which we are now met has been duly sanctioned according to the laws of this country for the celebration of marriages. Robbie, would you state your full name for me, please?
Robbie Kyle McClintock.
And Rebecca, your full name?
Rebecca Dawn White.
Thank you. So I can ask the bride and groom to remain standing if everybody else would like to find a seat. That doesn't include you, sir. Now, in past times, it was the custom for a young woman of the household to be under the care and protection of the man of the household, usually a father or elder brother. When she marries, that responsibility passes to her husband. Now, this is the origin of the giving away ceremony. Times have changed, but some traditions we still honour today. And I've got a very important question for you, Nicholas. Do you give Rebecca's hand in marriage to Robbie?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Robbie and Rebecca have found in each other happiness, fulfilment, and love. And as a consequence of this, they now wish to affirm their relationship and offer to each other the security which comes from legally binding vows, sincerely made and faithfully kept. But before I proceed, if any person here present knows of any lawful impediment as to why they should not be joined in matrimony, you should declare it now. You've got all the right people, they're very quiet. Now, Robbie and Rebecca, before you're joined in matrimony, it is my duty to remind you of the solemn and binding character of the vows that you're about to make. The law of this country allows two people to make a commitment to marriage. This legally binding union is entered into voluntarily to the exclusion of all others. Well, I'm now going to ask each of you to declare that you know of no legal reason why you should not be joined in matrimony to the other. And Robbie, it's you first. If you'd repeat after me, please. I do solemnly declare.
I so solemnly declare.
I do solemnly declare.
I do so solemnly declare
that I know not
of
any lawful impediment
of any lawful impediment
why I, Robbie Kyle McClintock, may not be joined in matrimony to Rebecca Dawn White.
Rebecca,
this is your turn. If you'd repeat after me. I do solemnly declare.
I do solemnly declare.
That I know not.
That I know not.
Of any lawful impediment.
Of any lawful impediment.
Why I, Rebecca Dawn White.
Why I, Rebecca Dawn White.
May not be joined in matrimony.
May not be joined in matrimony.
To Robbie Kyle McClintock.
To Robbie Kyle. We're rubbish.
At this point of the ceremony, I'm going to invite Catherine and Dylan to come forward, please, to give us a reading.
If in the morning when you wake, if the sun does not appear, I will be here.
If in the dark we lose sight of love, hold my hand and have no fear, I will be here.
I will be here. When you feel like being quiet, when you need to speak your mind, I will listen. Through the winning, losing, and trying, we'll be together, and I will be here.
If in the morning when you wake, if the future is unclear, I will be here.
As sure as seasons were made for change, our lifetimes were made for years, and I will be here.
I will be here, and you can cry on my shoulder when the mirror tells us we are older. I will hold you to watch you grow in beauty, and I will tell you all the things you are to me.
We'll be together, and I will be here. I will be true to the promises I've made, to you and the one who gave you to me. I will be here.
You've both declared that you're free to marry. We now come to the part of the ceremony where you make your marriage contract with each other. Now, marriage is a personal decision, but a large part of its importance comes from its public recognition. And at this point, I'm going to invite our two witnesses, Luke and Zoe, to come and join us, please. Zoe, can you join us? You two will turn and face each other and holding hands. Robbie, if you would repeat after me, please. I call upon these persons here present.
I call upon these persons here present.
To witness that I, Robbie Kyle McClintock.
To witness that I, Robbie Kyle McClintock.
To take thee, Rebecca Dawn White.
To take thee, Rebecca Dawn White.
To be my lawful wedded wife.
To be my lawful wedded wife.
Rebecca, your turn, if you repeat after me, please. I call upon these persons here present.
I call upon these persons here present.
To witness that I, Rebecca Dawn White.
To witness that I, Rebecca Dawn White.
To take thee, Robbie Carl McClintock.
To take thee, Robbie Carl McClintock.
To be my lawful wedded husband.
To be my lawful wedded husband.
Thank you. Have your seats again. Just turn your face me once more. And at this point, we're going to call upon Sarah to come and give us a reading, please.
Love is in the things you do, not the things you say. Love is knowing they are there and always will be. Love is the silent gestures. Love says, I accept you, all that you are and all that comes with you. I celebrate your happiness and marvel at your achievements. Love says, I will wipe your tears when you cry and hold your hand as we journey through life. You are my love, my past, my present, my future. You are my motivation and my inspiration. You make it light when it's dark. You are my spring when it's winter. You make me believe in me, I believe in us. The love we share asks for nothing, but gives me everything.
You have both declared that you're free to marry and have made your marriage contract with each other. We now come to the part of the ceremony where you exchange rings. This is an ancient and a traditional way of sealing the marriage contract that you two have made. The wedding ring is an unbroken circle. It has no beginning and no end, and it represents everlasting love. And it's an outward sign of the lifelong promises that you are making to each other. Now I know Luke's got some rings because he showed me earlier. Come and join us. Robbie, would you take Rebecca's ring? If you turn and face each other. And if you place it on the tip of the third finger left hand, and if you hold it there, and if you repeat after me, and you're speaking directly to Rebecca. I promise to give you my love and friendship.
I promise to give you my love and friendship.
To be there for you when you need me most.
To be there for you when you need me most.
To laugh with you.
To laugh with you.
To cry with you.
To cry with you.
And to confide in you.
And to confide in you.
To trust you.
To trust you.
To comfort you.
To comfort you.
And to support you.
And to support you.
All that I have, I share with you.
All that I have, I share with you.
I promise to respect you.
I promise to respect you.
And be faithful to you always.
And to be faithful to you always.
These promises I make for the rest of my life.
These promises I make for the rest of my life.
And I give you this ring.
And I give you this ring.
as a token
as
of our marriage.
as a token of our marriage.
Back slide around. Make him struggle. Rebecca, will you take the rubbish ring? Thanks, Luke. Have a seat. Once again, you place it at the tip of the third finger, left hand. And if you hold it, and if you repeat after me, you're speaking directly to Robbie. I promise to give you my love and friendship.
I promise to give you my love and friendship.
To be there for you when you need me most.
To be there for you when you need me most.
To laugh with you.
To laugh with you.
To cry with you.
To cry with you.
And to confide in you.
And to confide in you.
To trust you.
To trust you.
To comfort you.
To comfort you.
And to support you.
And to support you.
All that I have, I share with you.
All that I have, I share with you.
I promise to respect you.
I promise to respect you.
And be faithful to you always.
And be faithful to you always.
These promises I make for the rest of my life.
These promises I make for the rest of my life.
And I give you this ring.
And I give you this ring.
As a token of our marriage.
As a token of our marriage.
Slide in. At this point, the ceremony, we're going to call upon Zoe to come and do it.
I vow to honour the commitment made this day, which, unlike the flowers in the cake, will not wither or decay. A promise not to obey, but to respond joyfully, to forgive and to console, for once incomplete, we now are whole. I vow to bear in mind that if at times things seem to go from bad to worse, they also go from bad to better. The lost purse is handed in, the letter contains wonderful news. Trains run on time, hurricanes run out of breath, floods subside, and toast lands jam side up. And with this ring, my final vow, to recall, whatever the future may bring, the love I feel for you now.
The question I'm often asked is, what is marriage? And marriage is a commitment to life. It's the best that two people can find and bring out in each other. It offers opportunities for sharing and growth that no other relationship can ever equal. It's a physical and an emotional joining that's promised for a lifetime. Marriage deepens and enriches every facet of life. Happiness is fuller, memories are fresher, and commitment will be stronger. Even anger will be felt more strongly, but trust me, it will pass more quickly. Marriage understands and forgives the mistakes that any life is unable to avoid. Ladies and gentlemen, could I ask you please to stand? Robbie, Rebecca, you have both made solemn and binding promises with each other in the presence of your witnesses, your family and your friends. Treasure this trust and responsibility and live rich and full lives together. Because it now gives me very great pleasure to announce that you are husband and wife, and Robbie, should it be your desire, you may kiss with right.
That's not true.
We have it on very good words.
Maybe VIP. I'm right, go on, move in.
Are we? No, do you want to
Yeah, look at you.
I'm Go again.
Nice to see you. I promise I'm not even here. Smiling for the last 2 hours. Just
Good. It hasn't even started yet. Thanks, Oh, yeah, come on. Yeah. Welcome to the contingent now. Hello, William.
big day to start with. Give me control.
Hello. I've hardly seen you go so far. Right? Yeah. I've got a drink now. No. Well, you were kind of awkward saying that as you well. Yeah. It's meant to thunder. Thank you so much. Yeah. I know. You're telling me with. Yeah. Thank you so much. Table plans just in there.
Right, come on, Marley.
Hello. All right. See you again.
Work me down your answer.
Good.
Too organised, I like
yeah, apologies about that.
welcome to it.
Yeah. No, thank you so much, Natasha.
Hold it. Hold it. Oh, now she's full of water now. Right, where are we? Table 6, I think, man.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Alex. It's a pleasure having you here.
Glad to get to enjoy everything.
Thank you so much for reading. Really good. Hello. Right. Thank you, yes. Hello, alright?
Yeah.
Getting on okay?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, lovely. Alright?
Yeah. You did such a good job earlier.
Well done.
Hello, Emily. Comes up to a nice picture.
So rude.
Look at the little tear.
I didn't feel it. So, you could probably get that. I was thinking about No, it's scary having a suit on.
Do you want to go? Yeah. Really awkward. She was like, oh, she's like,
How are you doing? You okay?
sit down. That's really awkward. She was like, yeah.
Well done. Amazing.
Do not leave. I have a present for you.
Alright. Congratulations. My face wrap.
I'm so happy. What? Robbie?
He always has me.
I love how he does that behind him. He's like, what?
Come here. It's only everyone wants to.
Everyone's like,
yeah, I suppose. Robbie must be like, no. One in the one next to me now. Yeah. This is my first little drink, so I'm going to be really unwell. First, unfortunately. Alright. Oh, well, yeah. What, Nick? Oh, yeah. That's going to be excellent. So much.
oh, we will.
Thank you so much.
I think that'd be easy to do it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hello. No, just hello. Nice to meet you again. Hello. Hello. Thank you. Good job, mate. Yeah.
Really nice.
It's actually, isn't it? I think we're really fortunate. We are lucky. Melissa's on our side. Hello. Alright. Don't worry about any other stuff.
Hi, no, I don't think I have met actually. Hi, nice to meet you.
Really good. Hanging in there.
Having a good day.
Cheeks are sore now, I tell you. Thanks for so much.
That's my face, right? Yeah,
Hello.
Alright?
Good. Good. Hi, Simon. You alright? Thank you very much. Really good. Yeah, very good. Nice to meet you. I'm ginger brown, isn't I? It's a bit sad. That's how it is.
Hi, Dale. Thanks for coming.
Lovely day. Okay?
Yeah. Thanks for coming. Thank you. Hello.
Yeah, perfect. Cheers then, mate. Yeah, good.
Thank you. Not long, cheese.
Congrats again, Becca.
Oh, you wait now. You wait now. My revenge. Listen. Lovely to meet you. Wow. Thanks for Turbo Nits. Yeah, me too. Oh, not Nits.
Hello. Good. I'm going to, it's going to happen. Hi, Henry. Good, thank you. Hiya. Sorry, I always do it. Hello. Yeah, go on. Yeah, absolutely. Good. Doing really well, thanks. Just about. Hiya. Somerset.
You behave yourself on pizza table. You know.
I'm sorry.
And I've been giving him out.
Watch him. Lovely to meet you.
Hello. Can we give you a cuddle?
Go on, man. Oh, yeah.
You got your own seat?
Can I have one too, man? Yeah.
Hello. He's lost his nerves now.
Yeah. Right?
I need a bit of that. Right, see you in a bit.
There you go. You did such a good job.
Doing alright.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, good.
Brilliant, that was bang on.
Well, that'll be now, won't it? No, I've got my lines. Alright.
So lucky.
Yeah, it is. It's really working out well.
Yeah, my head was flying at the top.
I know. I said to my mum this morning, I was like, have we got the umbrellas?
Yeah, indeed.
Good omen. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. D.
Congratulations, you two.
Thank you. Alright. It's just about to begin now, though, so behave yourself. Alright.
What would you like to be an old married man?
Oh, I know. It's only, what is it, 3 hours?
Hello, Becca.
Thank you.
Yes. Good. You've been chilly. It's a bit cold.
Oh, right. Yeah, hello, darling.
Thank you. Alright, thank you very much. Was it you that I relieved the glass off earlier? Was it?
Yeah.
That's me. Ah, there we go.
Very jealous.
Okay, I don't think. Oh, welcome.
Lovely.
You alright? Good. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, within reason.
Definitely.
Thanks for coming, Jack.
That was yours.
See you.
Get the glasses on. No, it's not. It's going to be over.
Alright.
That'll be fine.
Breathe now.
Yeah.
Where's it on to me?
I don't know. Why are you here? That's what you're eating.
This is so weird.
I'm joking. Are you not? Yes, no.
It's going to go big. Then you
we have in the car.
I am. Alright. Yeah, I'm getting on okay.
That's okay. You two looking all down.
What do you mean, is it real? Because it's real. What do you think it is? Well, there is. Alright. Alright. Hello.
I'm married man.
I know, tied up.
Oh,
So, I told you.
How many do we pick
Then top, yeah. 106, well, we're nearly there. Right there.
Yeah, really good.
Hey, oh, she's cutting in. Bloody hell, Jeff. What's yours available?
Doesn't know any, like, kind of. I'm trying to
And then she stops on my toes.
That's it.
Yeah, loose.
Congratulations, mate.
I was right. No,
I'll give it to Hello. Thank you so much. Getting on.
You had a few drinks.
Yeah. Congratulations. Not too sure. Not like that.
Hello, Jasper. Oh no, it's
Alright. I saw you wandering around. Faces there.
How about top it?
Thank you. I do treat that. I do.
Yes.
That's all. No, it's no problem.
Hello.
Yeah. I don't think I met you. That's free shot 2 years ago. Yeah, because you weren't there at the firework. Extravaganza. No.
I'm glad you have your nerves now.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, thanks, Chief.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you enjoying this? Yeah.
Great to see you. I know. I'm very. So Becca. Okay. Hello. Actually, it'll be alright. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the veil's coming out in a minute.
Thank you. Yeah, we will. Congratulations.
Thanks, Jay.
Alright, have you been Marcella, you've given her 10 minutes.
Here they are. I've given them a lot longer than that.
Becca?
Yeah, table 5, no. Oh, the table's dropped down. The table's dropped down.
Yeah. Oh my God.
7. Table 7.
7, that's right. I was thinking, oh my God.
We'll tell them.
It's falling off. Oh, Robbie, put them down as forward.
My bad. I'm sorry about that.
That's where you are. Where have you got 4 from?
Yeah. What have you got me down as, Robbie? What am I down as?
Mr. Hicks.
Hello, darling. Hello, darling. Another one.
Have we got any background music in this set then?
Not really. You go. It's just here in.
Yeah, I've just been introduced.
Yeah.
She was saying 10 years. It gives you 10 years. Yeah. That'll be it. This makes
We tried to be like, oh, it could be okay.
I bet you have.
We'll put this.
I do, Becca.
Look at your dickhead.
You look stunning, I told you that.
She does.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, yeah, I'm old enough. She does, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does, absolutely. Of course she does.
Right, you're sandwiched between Claudia, well, bruschetta and grandma, so behave yourself. Right?
Should sort them out. Wait for the fireworks. I met this young lady.
This is Zoe's my lady.
She did, yeah, she went to university with you.
No, she didn't. We've known each other since we were 10.
She lives in
Bristol.
Yeah, we just
I think I got it.
I'll do the meeting and the greeting. Carry on.
With bruschetta.
Right, come on then. I've got both of them.
You've got both.
Yeah.
The 1 and 2.
Yeah. Behave yourself.
No, that's a classic, isn't it? What if they compare?
Okay. So we're pretty much there. Top table going to sit, we're going last, person's going to go now. And listen, that's it. Everybody knows what you do. I don't know who might take it.
Do we?
Can I just find out?
I don't know. Hi, guys.
Have you put your hand to another
Thanks for coming.
That's a thumbs up.
I didn't remember doing that.
That's because we were off down the sea. It's quite funny. Take to that. I didn't know they were there.
Alright, we've got some of the stationery wrong, that went wrong.
Done a great job, Beck. I love you. You have the most amazing afternoons. You guys are amazing. Can I ring?
What ring?
So when Robbie asked me to do a speech, I didn't realise I was going to be first up, no warm-up act. Yeah, thanks for that. Heckled already. Luckily, I've been sat next to my kids for the last sort of half an hour or so, and we've got lots of inspiration when it comes to that. A delicious meal tonight, and when I was eating the chicken, Murph says to me, oh, look at that bone out of that chicken, that's got to come from a pig. So I'm hoping that maybe Peter and Jenny can maybe educate them on the anatomy of various animals tonight. I'm not quite sure who's more nervous tonight about giving a speech, me or Zoe and Marley. They don't know what's coming up, but yeah, thanks for the when I give compliments, I tend to sound sarcastic, so like just a bit of housekeeping now, it might seem insincere, but it is actually sincere. But, there's a couple of years between myself and Robbie. I know, it's quite surprising, I know, between two of us. He's the baby of the family. It inevitably means that as a baby of family, we're sort of always thinking of him and, thinking he's, it's Robbie, he can't do this, he can't do that. He's only Robbie. But we do know him quite well. We've known Sab and Zoe have been, we started going out when Robbie was only 5 years old. So we know him quite well, despite missing out on some of his years when I was at uni and moved back and then he was at uni. Yeah, I think everyone knows Robbie. He's got a very good work ethic. When we first owned our business, he desperately wanted to work for us. We said, Robbie, you're only 11 years old, you can't work for us. But he's keen and unperturbed. The next day he turned up with his own homemade badge saying volunteer. As a baby of the family, Robbie's amazing achievements have appeared even more unreal, really. His results at GCSE, A-levels, medical school, and now doctor. Of course, bagging the lovely Becca. It all seems so strange to think that he was only 9 when he was at our wedding, so lost his age, really. To be fair, myself and Zoe were always a bit sceptical, really, when Robbie was growing up, to become a doctor, even though it was decided very young that he was. Watching Cavity and Holby City doesn't really necessarily equate to being a doctor. But no, he did it. Our scepticism was born out of knowledge. When it comes to his own blood, he's probably the most squeamish person we know. In the summer of '99, Zoe and I met Robbie with my parents in the Lake District. One of the days we decided to cycle the perimeter of Derwent Water. Robbie's not the most naturally sporting of people, and in no time at all he had fallen off. He'd hit a slippery rock and come off his mountain bike. He probably had the slightest of injuries, a very slight cut to his hand, more of a paper cut, to be honest. And as Dad and Zoe and I fobbed him off and basically told him to man up, he burst into this massive tantrum, shouting, I'm bleeding, I'm bleeding. Don't laugh, I could be dead in minutes. Like I said, we didn't really believe he was going to become a doctor. To be fair, it's not really my job to take the mick out of Robbie. That's Luke's job. I'll leave it to him. I haven't got all night. But myself and Zoe and our kids are immensely proud of Robbie. He's achieved an incredible amount. he combines an incredible understanding of medicine, combined with his genuine caring nature, which I think will be very successful. And I know that Dad was very, very proud of you, Robbie. And the only shame today is that he's not here. But he adored Becca and thought very, very highly of you both. So she looked fabulous, by the way. I'm not really sure my role here, because actually, you know, if you say the bridesmaids are good and all that sort of stuff, you know, I'd like to get credit for 2 of them anyway. So, but yeah, we're very proud of you. So myself and Zoe and the kids, we wish you all the happiness in the world. You make a lovely couple, and it's lovely to see Becca with you because she keeps you grounded. She'll beat you at Monopoly. He's equally competitive, maybe more so actually from what I've heard. Lottie earlier said, love. What is love? I don't want to go on like the American preacher in the Beyond the Night, love is this, love is that. Lottie just says, love is kissy kissy marriage babies. I'm sure Zoe's keeping her fingers crossed for some mini Beccas and Robbies in not too distant future. So, just to toast the lovely bride and groom, Robbie and Becca.
Robbie and Becca.
Now we're going to hear from the father of the groom,
Father of the bride. Thank you. You can clap. We'll start with a few housekeeping issues. Should there be a fire tonight, you may leave by that door, and that door, and that one. And gentlemen, you may remove your jackets if you wish to do so. I've got to say, a little bit earlier on, I was invited into the inner sanctum of the bridesmaids and the bride's changing rooms, where I learnt some very telling information. And gentlemen, you may use this as you wish, but I know there was some spandex or Spanx failure going on a little bit earlier, and there is at least one bridesmaid wearing no knickers. Okay, minds are racing now. Anyway, look, hello and welcome to all our friends and family here today to celebrate such a very special and important day. Robbie and Becca's big day, and I know some of you have travelled a very long way to get here, and special thanks to my cousin who spent 27 hours travelling 12,000 miles to get here today, and that's a big effort, and I do thank Chris for doing that. But it almost paled into insignificance. My friend Mr. Hicks here on my right hand side spent nearly as long travelling from Kent yesterday. 6¼ hours. Absolutely. And we also missing out on some very special friends that were invited, and right to the last minute were going to be with us today, and there were some Ghanaians that Robbie and Becca had spent some lovely time with. They spent 10 weeks in Ghana doing their internship after they finished their medical degree, and they had some great friends and great relations, and they were going to come today,
but they couldn't get a bloody visa to get in. So it's absolutely outrageous, and that's a great shame that they're not here. But anyway, good to see that all of Robbie's friends from the stag weekend have made it, and they're all here in one piece, which is fantastic. I did promise Robbie that I wouldn't mention any of the exploits on the stag weekend, but I think it would be amiss of me not to mention the 5 minutes that Robbie spent chatting up a 6'6" transvestite. Medical training counts for nothing when the drink is in. Also, one of his mates got a bloody nose during the course of the proceedings. Robbie said, "Have you been in a fight?" He said, "No, I was just dancing too close to your future father-in-law." See, I told you they'd get a lad. Anyway, on a reassuring note, for anybody that's feeling fragile today, there are 18 doctors in the room. Yay. 2 vets and 2 dentists. So if anybody should be taken ill, we should be all right. I mean, it's bad news for them if somebody should peg out today, though, let's say. Anyway, look, inevitably on days like today, our thoughts turn to people who are also not with us, and I know that we've already mentioned Robbie's dad, Kevin, and I'm sure he would have been delighted today to share in the joy that we are all having, and we'd have been delighted to have got to know him. And also my father, Ken, would have been absolutely bursting with pride today, as he would have done on numerous occasions that unfortunately he's missed out on over the years, because he and Becca did have a very special bond. He loved her very much, and she loved him very much. It's amazing. Becca would race home after school to my mum and dad's, and within a nanosecond she'd be on Grandad's lap. And we remember them both today with fondness and sadness. So here's to them. Anyway, what can I say about Becca without seeming big-headed? Well, it's bloody hard, because she is brilliant, let's face it. And from as early as 8, she knew she wanted to become a doctor, and she worked her socks off with purpose and dedication to achieve that goal, and let nothing, absolutely nothing, get in her way, including a complete rejection from every medical school that she applied to. I mean, I ask you, this is a star pupil, and she didn't get a single interview. Anyway, not to be put off, and this shows where dedication comes in. She used her gap year I say, to strengthen her CV. So no jetting off to Bali in Australia for 6 months to discover herself. No, she became an orderly at an old folks home, followed very shortly by becoming a blood, poo and pee junior health assistant at Bath RUH. Anyway, it was that dedication and drive and ambition towards a life in medicine that got her a round of interviews the second time round, and she was accepted and offered a place at Peninsula in Exeter. And as you know, most of you know the rest of the story, both she and Robbie graduated with distinction from Peninsula Medical School, and now both obviously following their dreams, and I'm absolutely confident both of them are going to be a huge success in their future career. But anyway, from a very early age, Ali and I, we knew we had our work cut out, didn't we, with Becca? Not because she was naughty or difficult in any way, but because she was very bright. And one evening, when she was no more than 2, and this is no exaggeration, we were in the lounge and we heard a noise coming from the kitchen. We, what the hell's that? And we got up, and Becca was literally 2, she was a toddler. She sat on top of the work units in the kitchen, swigging from a bottle of Calpol. and how she'd done this is she'd come downstairs and she'd pulled all the drawers out from the work units to form a flight of steps, so that she could walk up to the top, reach up to the cabinet where we stored the medicines, got them down and started knocking back the Calpol. Obviously a self-medicating doctor ahead. Anyway, we did try, with the help of friends and a sister, to knock some of that intelligence out of her, quite literally over the years. Firstly, my first night left in charge of Becca when she was a baby was an attempt to change her on a changing mat, which was on a trolley that contained a little bathtub and everything else. So it was quite high off the ground. And I put her there and I turned round for a nanosecond to pick up the nappy. Becca rolled off the top, bang, onto the floor. And then literally silence for what seemed like bloody hours before she just got enough breath in her lungs to go, "You bastard!" Anyway, the rest of the night we spent at A&E. A couple of years later, when she was a toddler, we went on holiday to Spain with some friends of ours, Chris and Kate, who are not with us today. But we had an amazing holiday. But Becca spent most of that holiday literally sat on my shoulders, and we'd spent a lovely day on the beach. We were tied to the beach bar. We got in there. Becca sat on my shoulders, and I thought, oh, I should have a beer. So I lifted Becca off my shoulders, whoop, like that, and almost stuck her head through the top of the metal awning that was above us. Anyway, she shrugged that off. 2 hours later, Chris was swinging his camera around. Poof! Right in the back of his head. Camera burst into a million pieces onto the floor because Becca was just at that right height to be clattered by the camera. But anyway, all of this pales into insignificance because when she was about 14, or might even Sarah was about 14, I turned up to pick Sarah up to go to swimming, and Sarah had got into the car and she suddenly realised she'd forgotten something or other, and so she leapt out of the car, ran straight back in, burst through the front door just as Becca was bending down to pick up the post. Bang! Knocked Becca clean out. Absolutely clean out. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, fortunately this did knock the sense out of her at all, because sense and sensibility, organisation and attention to detail is Becca, and she has it in spade loads. So much so that she's not only trusted by us, but also by parents of friends who used to ring up about planned events or parties or trips away to Yuki or wherever to inquire if Becca would be going, and if so, their children could go as well. And of course, this blindsided us to our other 3 children. But they'll be covered by different speeches at different times. Anyway, Becca was staying at a sleepover with friends in her early teens. In fact, it was at Beth's house. Where's Beth? She's here behind us. And when she came home, she was a bit miffed that Ali hadn't phoned up to check on her like all her friends' parents had done. And Ali said, well, why should I? You already told me you were staying at Beth's. Anyway, this earned Becca the nicknames at school of Mother Superior and Chair of the WI. And look, just to give you some idea, and this is the benefit of being upstairs a bit earlier, just how prepared Becca is, that I know that this evening she will be ovulating. So basically, settle down now. So basically, even her ovaries are organised. Now, I've painted a picture of Becca that might make her sound a little bit staid and boring. But not a bit of it. She has a great sense of fun and sees the humour in every situation, which I guess is essential for being a doctor. Even so, she told a one-legged patient once to hop up onto the examination. Anyway, becoming a doctor has presented Becca with so many opportunities and advantages, but the biggest of all of those was getting to meet Robbie at med school. Now, we all have great hopes and expectations of our children, and one of those expectations and hopes is that they married well. Well, all I can say is Ali and I could not have hoped for better in Robbie. Robbie is, what can I say? He's kind, he's compassionate, he's helpful, he's thoughtful, caring and loving and endearing. And actually, all of this with just a hint of mischief, which makes him all the more endearing. But like I can say, is that we've known Robbie over the last few years and we've got to know him really well, and he already feels a member of the family. But I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome him to this, well, what can I say? Sometimes chaotic, mad, loud, opinionated, crazy, loving extended family. And even my dad would have approved of Robbie for his little girl. All the guides say leave them with a topical joke. Unfortunately, none are about doctors and marriage, so I won't be going there. Anyway, may I now ask you, well, all of you that are still able, to be upstanding and join me in a toast to the bride and groom to wish them a long and happy life together. Ladies and gentlemen, the bride and groom.
So we've all learnt a lot, haven't we? So my first sentence is, thank you, Nick, for those kind words. And yes, that's definitely true. But thank you for coming here today. It makes a great deal to me and my wife here. Celebrate today with us. I'm glad you found the place. It's quite nestled behind those side factories, but as you agree, it's a nice little gem, and it's Somerset, so that's what you get here, really. There will be a few toasts in my speech, so try not to neck the prosecco. We all know who that might occur to. We'd like to thank all the friends and family who made this day so special. All the jars here were tied hand. It took about a day, 200 of them in total, I think, something like that. So and then we had all the invites were handmade, and that's 220 invites hand folded. So thank you for those who were involved with that. We couldn't have done it without you. It was a big task, really. As already talked about, there are, as we know, family and friends who cannot be with us. So if my first toast could be to absent family and friends, please, if everyone just... Absent family and friends. So, my first dedication goes to Ali. I would thank you for raising Becca. She's ultimately compassionate, selfless and loving. You and Lee were very welcoming from the onset, and thank you for your love and support over the years. We look forward for you to be with us ongoing, really, and I know you will be. To Nick, your kind words are heartfelt and it was very touching. You and Claudia were, again, very welcoming, with great humour, plentiful red wine, which we know, and very generous and just lovely-hearted, really. It just meant so much to us. Thank you so much for letting me marry her. Also, I'd like to thank Mum. We knew that her intensive home economic training would come into use. Most of the flower displays you see around were done by her. She did a lot of effort, so thank you ever so much. In order for us to hear today, lots of things had to happen. Decisions and choices made, which ultimately brought me and Becca together. Of course, we had lots of assistance during the time from our friends, and these people are here with us today, and we're thankful for that. You're aware of the battalion of bridesmaids we've got, many of them, and all of them have been a big part of our lives so far. They look absolutely fantastic, and thank you all for the support. Thank all for your ongoing support for Kempshall. We had some amazing speeches today. They were much more composed than I was, so that was a relief. We had Kat and Dylan with their first reading, and then Zoe and Sarah. And Sarah which wrote that poem for us, so I think that was really good. So, thanks for But also, on behalf of Becca and I, we'd like to say a special thank you to Zoe, who's sat right next to me here. I know, Zoe, that Becca has loved having you by her side, and that's her having her your maid of honour. You've always been brilliant and loyal, and a great friend over the years, and I know this will continue on. So therefore, if everyone could be upstanding to toast me.
Right way.
I knew I'd cock it up somewhere. Okay, so obviously moving on to the groomsmen, and everyone will be looking sharp in their suits. There we go. Thank you for their support and making this day run so smoothly, and they really have behind the scenes. We've also had the lads, Marley, Murphy and Will, who've looked fantastic and been really helpful. Thank you so much. And then we've also got the smaller bridesmaids, Millie and Lottie, who've been fantastic for helping out today. Thank you so much for that. We also like to thank you for the unforgettable experiences the stag do in Brighton, which we didn't really want to bring up, did we? But managed to get in there. Which leads me on to my best man, Luke. He will unfortunately have a catalogue of what he will regard as hilarious. But before he does so, I must thank him for his loyalty and support over the years. From the moment we met on the stairs of Radnor Block 4, I think he spied my copy of Kilver Park, I think, actually, and we became great friends. And I'm immensely proud to stand by him at his wedding. I'm privileged that he's my best man here today. And finally, brings me to my beautiful wife, Becca. You look incredible today, but more importantly, you're the most stunning, intelligent and passionate woman. I am lucky to have you on my bride. I can remember the first time I saw you. I think it's fair to say you were towering above the crowd of cases. In your black and white skirt, I remember, and chatting and beaming away. Fortunately, though, you did see through my dress sense and my hairstyle. and soon we were inseparable and developed into best friends. Together we've had our ups and downs, from bed bugs and compost toilets in Ghana to walking with the elephants there and seeing the Grand Canyon. Our relationship has always been full of love and laughter. I am so proud to be your husband, and thank you for agreeing to Thank you for agreeing to stand by my side for the rest of our lives. I can't wait to start this adventure with you. So, could everyone be upstanding? To toast my beautiful wife, to Becca. Well done.
And lastly, we're going to hear from the best man.
So, when we talk about weddings, we can also reminisce about popping the question. As men, we all think about it beforehand, and it can be quite nerve-wracking. We think, how am I going to ask it? Will it be special? Should I just plan, should I plan it, or just say what comes naturally? It had been dragging on a while, and everyone was thinking, when is Robbie going to ask? When it did happen, it had been worth the wait. I'll set the scene for you. Two people enjoying a lovely afternoon together, standing side by side in the queue for Burger King, and Robbie pipes up, so I can't. Do you want to be my best
best man. So here we are today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Luke, Robbie's best man. And I want to kick off by saying, Robbie, Becca, thank you for letting me play a part in your big day. It truly is an honour. Becca, you look beautiful today, as do all the bridesmaids. Robbie, you look all right, I suppose. Also, I want to congratulate the bridal party for not pressing the red button at any stage. Well done, I'm truly impressed. Well, now the niceties are out of the way, I can get on with the rest of the speech. So, I'm recently married, and Robbie was my best man. In his speech, he didn't say anything too bad about me, which is unfortunate on his part. It's called a preemptive strike, Robbie. I had so much ammunition for this speech, I didn't even know where to start. I thought I could talk about the time he drank 200 shots of beer and redecorate the kitchen, or many of the alcohol-induced nosebleeds. This would just lower the tone. In the end, I thought there's no better place to start than the beginning. I met Robbie in Plymouth in our first year of medical school. We got on straight away. He's easygoing, a good friend, and just excellent comedy value. From his sharp wit to his questionable hairstyle at the time and his hilarious clumsiness. I mean, I can't recall a single occasion in first year when Robbie opened a kitchen cupboard without either a mug smashing or an entire open bag of rice exploding. But it works out well because it isn't often I meet someone who's more of a liability than me. A few other first year highlights include vodka limeades, bass amplifier raves, and todka. For the uninitiated, that's tea and vodka mixed together. Hey, it's not as bad as it sounds, it's actually worse. Robbie first met Becca in Truro in our third year of med school. They had immediate chemistry, and I remember just thinking, wow, has she seen his hair? At the time, Robbie had a unique look, possibly some sort of fusion of surfer and mad scientist, like hairstyle. He also had a love of faded jeans. Becca seemed nice, and I was happy for Robbie, so I didn't want to mention the hair, in case she was waiting an eye test and hadn't noticed it. However, despite Robbie's stylistic hindrance and Becca's clean bill of ocular health, they continued to get on particularly well. I was surprised then, when only a couple of weeks later, I saw Becca walking hand in hand with another man, a well-groomed, smartly dressed man. I was gutted. Becca and Robbie seemed so right together. Later, I got back to the house and Becca was there, sat next to the very same man in his fancy shirt and jeans. Well, this is a bit awkward, I thought. Feeling uncomfortable, I escaped into the kitchen. Then Mr. Well-groomed Fancy Pants walked in, opened a cupboard, and out fell an entire bag of rice. The penny dropped. So it hadn't taken long, but Robbie had undergone a transformation, and he hasn't. I'm reliably informed that Becca's housemates were exchanging bets as to how long it would take Becca to redesign Robbie. That Forest Gatto was at stake. Just as a side note, for those of you who may not know the pre-Becca Robbie, I would direct you to Facebook, there's plenty of evidence. But aside from upgrading his fashion sense, I could see that Becca made Robbie very happy and their relationship was clearly going places. Today, Becca has gained a husband with many enviable traits. For one, Robbie is known for his intelligence. He's so smart that he often sees things others can't. For example, Becca's new husband is funny, generous, and possesses the ability to dance completely out of time with anyone. I say ability rather than inability, because I really do think it's a skill to completely ignore the rhythm and just do your own thing. And to be fair, it worked. Asynchronous dancing in a salubrious Falmouth nightclub was how Robbie first wooed Becca. Well, that plus a bit of knee play. Please make sure you all check out Robbie's killer dance moves later this evening. I'm going to draw this to a close soon, but first I want to leave you with a few lessons that Robbie and I have learned over the years. I hope this speech can also be educational. Here they are. Housemates don't appreciate 4 AM fire drills. You do. Fish can overeat until they explode. That's sadly true. Vomiting the morning after a night out is a hangover, not meningitis. And finally, it always lands on black, about 48% of the time. To conclude then, I'm told that the original role of the best man was to defend the marrying couple against aggressors. I don't think I'm going to be busy today then, as you won't find anybody with a bad word to say about Robbie and Becca, two of the most genuine people I know. I'm truly lucky to have you both as friends, and I think I can speak for everyone in saying that it's been a privilege to watch your relationship grow over the years. I know everyone here will join me in wishing you a long and successful marriage, filled with love, happy memories, and erratic dancing. Before I finish, a bit of advice for you, Robbie, from one married man to another. You need to set the ground rules and establish who's the boss. And then do everything Becca says. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for Mr. and Mrs. Kempshall, a toast to the bride and groom.
I love you.
Thank you.